Welcome back on this Tuesday morning. Today, look for clouds to increase and temperatures to be typical for this time of year in the lower 20s this afternoon with southerly winds. Initially speeds of around 15 miles per hour, but pushing around 20 miles per hour very late into the afternoon. And then winds become gusty tonight. We'll also have a little bit of light snow roll through. Not a whole lot accumulating, so more of like a dusting to right around half of an inch likely with this round. Watch as it kind of rolls in. This is around early afternoon, 2 o'clock, where we start to see some of the snow working into the western counties of the UP. Now this band will expand north and northeast, so it will traverse our central counties mid-afternoon and into the evening, and then it'll be just north of us later on tonight. By that point in time, winds will be increasing out of the south with gusts of around 30 miles per hour throughout the overnight hours. Now, this is all ahead of our next front. Right now, what we're seeing is just a few light flurries near Lake Superior, but that next little system is still located well to our northwest, and eventually it's going to dive south and southeast. It's going to bring in a front for us, and then some very slick conditions for areas downstate. So ahead of that front, look for warmer air to roll in later on tonight with gusty winds. With that warm air and the gusty winds, a little bit of very light moisture will lead to a light wintry mix and freezing drizzle throughout the overnight hours, especially in the higher elevations through tomorrow morning. For areas downstate, though, we'll see mainly rain pretty much for the bulk of tomorrow, and then a brief switch over to more of freezing rain and ice before it switches over to wet snow for areas south of the UP. Temperatures during the overnight, look at that, increasing to around the freezing mark, lower 30s across the central and eastern counties. That is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. You step out the door, it will be a milder one for sure, and then kind of staying in the 30s to the east throughout the afternoon, dropping to the 20s for the western counties of the UP. Here's the front as it works in. This is later on into the afternoon and evening today. So it'll be just to our west. So throughout the overnight hours, that front starts to roll in. Not a whole lot of moisture, but just enough. And with that wind flow and the warmer air to trigger, again, a little bit of freezing drizzle, a few raindrops likely. And then eventually we'll transition to some snow behind that front along our northwest wind belts with some lake effect ramping up around midday tomorrow. Rain developing in the northern areas within the warm sector of this system. This is midday, and then rain becoming widespread for areas downstate with a brief turnover to a freezing rain mix by Thursday morning and snow. Again, that's for areas downstate. So if you have plans to go downstate, you want to keep an eye to that radar and plan accordingly for that. Later on in the week, behind that front, we'll have cooler air work in. We'll have another disturbance bring in